The Shinola on that one. All right. Now, I would like to address this arts funding issue. Now, this all reminds me of a humorous story of the traveling salesman. Let's say that the taxpayer is a farmer and the government is a salesman. Well, the farmer says, you can spend the night in my barn, but do me a favor, don't stick your willy into any of the 3 holes in the wall. Well, in this case, the salesman's willy represents the taxpayer's money, you understand. Well, the government, like the salesman, can't help himself. Sticks his willy in the first hole, it feels good. Sticks his willy in the second hole, it feels even better. Sticks his willy in the third hole, and it hurts like hell, and it won't let go. Well, in the morning, the farmer comes out, and he explains. Behind the first hole was my wife. Behind the second hole was my daughter. And behind the third hole was a milking machine that don't let go till it gets 50 gallons. Gentlemen, I propose that this arts funding is like a milking machine, and unless we shut it down, it's going to rip our dicks right off.
Tonight's show is brought to you by the new U.S. government, improving the arts by severely limiting them.
Hey, Mas!
The memories I'll never lose. 1,000 things I'll never use. I should throw them all away. But not today. In the bedroom, there's a touch of roses in the air. But when I turn to find her, she's never really there.
Holy moly, look at my date! She's a super villain, possibly a Medusa. Dean, I am not kidding. She has rope for hair and a shiny costume. Aw, not fair, she's wearing goggles. Told you she would dig my Batman suit, but no.
Okay, to answer your question, Natalie, the board of directors was a little concerned that we didn't have a back-to-school drug or Christmas drug.
We didn't have an International Women's Day drug.
Exactly. So, you know, I tried to remind them that when I invented Stummies...
Oh, Stummies, yes, thank God that you did.
You know, it took both time and effort. But unfortunately, the board takes a narrow view, and in their own narrow way, they think that the company is losing money, which in fact we are, but again, I think this is the narrow view.
Well, damn them, Don. I mean, what the hell do they know?
What do they know? Thank you.
Well, they're insisting that we cut our research outlay by 60%. Of course, I told them to fuck off.
Good for you, Don.
But then, out loud, I said I'd consider it.
Of course, Don. Exactly the right thing to do. Play with them.
So, where are we with that, Marv?
With what, Don?
Our restructuring plan?
You mean the thing that you just mentioned just now?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on top of that, Don.
Good.
Are your parties dull and boring? Well, why not liven them up with the snack food that's sweeping America?
Say, Mike, this is some great pate. It has such a unique flavor.
It's more than just an ordinary pate, Bill. Watch.
What the? You know, I never saw an appetizer do that before. Wow.
You never tried silly pate before. Not only is it fun at parties, it's low in saturated fats. And look, it picks up your favorite comic strip. I'm eating Doonesbury.
And I'm eating Beetle Bailey.
Yes, you'll never have a dull, lifeless party again with Silly Pate. Silly Pate. Available in all fine gourmet shops and toy stores everywhere.
This guy, Todd Gack. I want to bet from him.
Yeah, what bet?
He bet me that Dustin Hoffman was in Star Wars.
Dustin Hoffman in Star Wars?
Yeah.
Short Jewish guy against Darth Vader? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So the bet was the loser has to buy dinner?
Yeah.
Huh.
You're my rival, okay? The only reason you're here is so that my hatred of you can fuel my desire to beat you, okay? So I need you staying in the game.
Okay, then I'm gonna beat you, you skank.
Yes, that is the spirit. The only way to beat men is by competing against other women.
That.
This is where he every day I'm wearing a necklace like this, and he's in this urn.
Is his ashes?
Yeah, his ashes right here and here. Yep. So both of my grandpas are here.
What's that other thing on the necklace?
It's a Punisher emblem.
What's that about?
I like the Punisher just because he's he takes his the law into his own hands to punish the people that wronged him.
Eat.
Have you even heard him sing?
He made me sing last night. And if I were straight, I'd make you high-five me right now.
You are letting your judgment be completely clouded by lust.
Yes, thank you. See, Robert, Saul gets it.
Look, this isn't about me anymore. That dunce cannot be Sky.
Robert, I hear you, but I feel like you're not even considering Stevie's badonkadonk.
Dude, you don't have to be ashamed or anything.
But I'm not a fudge packer.
Then why are you packing fudge?
I'm not. I'm a very busy actor. I'm just here trying to get away for a weekend and do some fly fishing.
Dude, you are in a fudge factory packing fudge.
Oh, that does it. I will sue you.
For what?
You can't just call somebody a fudge packer and get away with it. Hey, is that fudge packer Tom Cruise?
Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and then we'll pull up them. We're gonna start with hot shot. Just watch this chorus step.
Hello, everyone. I think I'm going to cough or have to take a big old swallow. And hello, everyone. Welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents our 134th consecutive Tuesday with you all and me, you all. Tonight's episode is Push the Button. You say to yourself, another show about comic books. And some of you aren't even from the area that I am broadcasting from. So it's late, or maybe it's really early. Say hi in the chat. Maybe we'll get to you. Or maybe leave a comment afterwards. Let me know how we're doing. But this is a show about comics from a store's owner and the store's point of view. So I guess I'm like, that corporation that's actually a person also. And we come here every Tuesday to chat about some comic books. Usually there's a topic. Tonight, it's all about stuff. You can see it scrolling down below, all the things we're going to get into. Fantastic Comics is a show. It is a store. It is an entity that's out there on social media. All you have to do is type Fantastic Comics and, maybe like look for those letters that are up in the corner of the screen. And you'll be able to find out, what's going on. We're on Substack, but we'll get into that later. Not necessarily the Substack stuff. We are in Berkeley, California. So come on in and visit us Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m. Although this Friday, things are going to be different, but we'll get in that a little bit. Everybody that's been watching the last few weeks has been clamoring for the very first minute of the show where we talk about wrestling. So let's get into that right now. Wow, that was amazing. I love going to the small shows so you can watch somebody risk their life in front of you for a few bucks. Hopefully they were the star of the show and not somebody on the undercard risking their life. Nonetheless, wow. We're going to talk about wrestling for a minute. There really wasn't that much to talk about. There were a couple of debuts on Raw. I saw that. Trish Stratus came back. She threatened everybody with maybe coming back and having a match on retiring. She looks great. She's she'd be still the belle of the ball. And then towards the end of and this was all in like Canada. They were in Toronto, I think. So she's Canadian. This guy isn't. He made his debut, but Canada is a crowd that usually knows something about wrestling. So debuting this guy with no fanfare still got really good applause. I guess Raw and SmackDown are doing over 2 million on both shows, and NXT is going up in ratings, and well, it's going to be very interesting. Everybody seems to really enjoy the Triple H regime right now. Unfortunately, over in let me do it this way. Over in AEW, this happened.
But Chris Statlander coming in with the high kick.
Well, she took her time and started slapping her legs before she got to it. Statlander made her pay.
1, 2, 3. Wow, the big kick ended the night.
Yeah, it ended the night, and it ended her her year. She's going to be out for like 6 to 8 months. She's had all sorts of leg injuries, and every time you think she's going to get a chance to really make a difference, that happens. I think she's a liability if I was being real about it. Not trying to be a jerk or anything, but she's kind of like that other New Zealand woman. that WWE had. She gets injured all the time, or woo woo woo, his lady, she gets injured all the time. Like, you know, in sports, a lot of times you might say, like, yeah, this guy got hit by a pitch and he broke his arm. It's not really his fault. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but last year it was this, and the year before it was this, and you know, maybe it's just like it's oil and water. I don't know, whatever. That's your wrestling minute. I know, very lackluster. But that's how wrestling was for me. But I just wanted to talk about it. So that's how it is in the show. You got to listen to it. That's what I have to talk about it at the store. Talk about all sorts of stuff. We're going to get into that in just a moment. But first, I like to. This is my favorite part of the show.
We didn't come to borrow any money. We didn't come to borrow any dough. We didn't come to borrow any trouble. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh, hello to you, Mr. Penny. Please don't think that we are hammy. We just stopped in from Alabama. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh boy, you said it. We just stopped in to say hello. And don't forget it. We just stopped in to say hello. And I'm hello. Hello. Goodbye.
Hello, everyone. That's me, Yule. I want to thank, I think it was Talkin' Soul that got me this X-Men shirt. And I also have Batlin Buddies, or whatever he's calling himself this day. He got me this South Park. This is from, like, you know, this is a stand from like the Yahtzee episode, the Facebook one. And it's like Tron, it glows in the dark. I like glow in the dark stuff, and I like South Park. I'm not the biggest fan of these guys, the pop vinyls, but I've kept it tight. Maybe I'll have a giveaway someday. We're going to talk about a giveaway on the show in just a little bit. But first, Fantinium was here as always early, and then had something to say that, all right, so this is the question. I was told that this is only a Southern California coming up to Northern California thing, but I know Fantinium originally was from the East Coast and also has family in Southern California, but has lived up here for quite a while, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, he says the 880. Supposedly the Southern Cal people say the 880, but here in Northern California, people say 880. There's no reason to say the, you know what I mean? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Doc Postalot, yo, and more Batlin yos. David Federighi, what is going on with you? I'm just trying to sell comics, talk about comics, and have a good time with y'all. Julie Pill in the other room. Kenneth Bird, hi, how's it going, man? Oh, is it? I've got another. Anyway, Walk 37. Sup? I have a video that says sup, but I don't use it that often. Not near mint. I want you guys to know that if you don't have enough to watch in YouTube as far as comics are concerned, you should check his show out. I follow him on Twitter. He always shows stuff that he's got in his collection, and it's a pretty awesome collection. And yeah, should check him out. Check them out over at Not Near Mint. Hey, yo, I've watched the last few episodes. You edit completely new openings every time. That looks like an incredible amount of work. Great job. Thank you very much. But StreamYard allows me to have videos on the side. So, I've stolen almost everything. But case in point, here's my dog for those of you that haven't met Gizmo before. Yeah, that's Gizmo. Gizmo. That is the trouble dog. Let me tell you. So I have these videos here, and anytime, like, I just switch them up, and it's all on a thumb drive and on my computer. I've got too much stuff, and I just clip stuff when I think about it. Usually it's like, you're watching something like A Modern Family or whatever, Seinfeld, the stuff that I watch, and or things that I know that are old that nobody knows, and I just like bringing them out. So it's not, there's preparation involved, but a lot of it's already been done. But thank you. I'd also like to introduce you guys to another channel in a few moments, but like I said, Not Near Mint. It's all about comics. You should check it out. It's a live stream mostly, and I think you've done Fridays, or we're going to do Fridays recently. You can correct everybody or me in the chat. Thank you very much. Jasper Plan 9. Hi, chat. Excellent. Jeffrey Jones, good to see you're awake. No cow drops the, but there's at least Not Near Mint on the East Coast, so maybe they say the also. All right, here we go. How's your father? I hope Donnie Cates gets better. Is there anything as far as like a guarantee that is, or is it just a conjecture? We'll get into that in just a moment. What's good, bro? Comics Quirks. Jimmy, how are you doing? Another person with another YouTube channel. He does good. He's not long for YouTube, or what I mean is he's going to transcend it in some way. So like YouTube isn't going to be big enough for Jimmy in the end. But for the time being, you should check his stuff out. It's going to happen. He's going to get snapped up by some company, and he's going to do all this stuff. Let's see. Just speculation. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll speculate, the thing is that, it's been talked about, and I'm going to get around to it in just a moment. In fact, let me put the banner again of what we're going to be talking about on the show. Oh yeah. And my post-surgery update. So I have, these stitches in my finger, and those are going to be removed on Friday. And it's been horrible. I'm right-handed. This is my right hand, and there's some stuff that occurs that you just don't know how. I can't write with I don't have to write with my left hand, but I can't be all putting the pen where I normally put it, and I can't be holding the pen in quite the same way, especially with the stitches available open. So I'm kind of messily writing with my right hand, but there's some things I don't even want to do with my right hand, you know what I mean? And there you go. It's next week everything will be normal. Unfortunately, this week everything's I'm going to talk about the bad news first. Get that out of the way. I didn't make a header for this. This is Tom Palmer. He's an inker. He was, I think, 80. I could be wrong on the number. He's been inking forever and is considered one of the finest inkers. Now, a lot of people that read comics don't even think about them, especially with comics that are coming out today. More and more, they're digital. There's still inking involved, but a lot of times it's just straight to color without even line weight. And this guy was doing it the old-fashioned way, probably for all the time. And he was doing it for a good long time, and consistent. He was working with John Buscema on Avengers, and if John Buscema doesn't stop, he just keeps chugging along. There's never, he worked on Neil Adams' X-Men, and I think mostly Marvel, but I can't really tell you what DC's done. But anyhow, yeah, that's like, one of those inking legends. If you, it's going to be one of those talents. It's just not going to really be as important in comic books for the most part. Hopefully writing will still be important. Rachel Pollack, who famously followed Grant Morrison on Doom Patrol, and Yule never liked it, but always thought he wanted to go back and read it because maybe he was just being all prudish about somebody other than Morrison writing Doom Patrol. Anyway, Rachel Pollack has she's been in like the hospital, and now she's like in ICU, and there's a GoFundMe that's been set up, and there's going to be a Doom Patrol omnibus of her work, so coming out. Just another kind of like thing that's going on. She also worked with friend of the show Joe Corallo, and they have a Comixology. I guess issues, whatever you want to fucking call it. Is it a comic book if I can't touch it until Dark Horse reprints it in trade paperback? Anyway, that one is called The Never Ending Party. So check that out if you're inclined. The GoFundMe aspect reminds me of a story a couple of weeks ago where Ivan Brandon, who is much younger than both of those previous two, he had a massive heart attack, and he said he has a GoFundMe. I don't know if it's still going, or a lot of people were giving already, but there's a lot of conversation about comics and how well the industry is doing and who's making money, and there's the Image Union and all that other bullshit that's going on. And kind of like wrestling, you see these companies, they're making profits, but then you see the people that work for them, and are they really being taken care of? Usually they're not, it seems, and it's a bummer. And then you're like, okay, well, that's the lives of the people, and much farther on down the list as far as things that are important. We've been talking a lot about how, it's not, we haven't really been going too crazy about it, but I think I talked about it a couple weeks in a row, where this whole Discovery merger thing with HBO and Warner Brothers and all this bullshit that's going on. HBO Max was supposed to be like an outlet for all the DC stuff, and they are canning all this stuff that's getting made and canceling stuff going forward, and nobody knows what is going when. So like, it was pretty shocking when a Batgirl movie that has Michael Keaton in it would get canceled, when they spent 60, 70, 80 something million dollars. Most people are like, well, what's a few more million? But that's a lot of million that usually there's an equal amount of advertising and all that other stuff. And they were like, well, we're not even going to put it on HBO Max. So like, there's no home for it. There's no home for potentially all the other stuff. We know that Swamp Thing's never going to happen, and Doom Patrol might, but maybe not. And then there's Titans and all that stuff that people have been watching. The CW is basically all being canceled. And then we found out that, I guess, this movie Batman Caped Crusader, which was Bruce Timm was involved, along with an Abrams and somebody else. I don't know. Matt Reeves, I think, was the name. And I'm like, oh, Bruce Timm, an animated movie, Batman, that usually sells. And they don't even want to do that. It's crazy. So supposedly this is going to be shopped around to other places, but that's interesting. But first, going back, I read this is crazy because, people are like, oh, well, that Batgirl will surface, right? But from what I understand, if you're going to take a loss on these movies, and, this company coming in, they're merging, they don't have, they have debt, and they're going to like write off this stuff. And the thing is they can go back in time, since the stuff they bought is new to them. they could cancel all that stuff out also. And it's basically get rid of it. So if you like have physical copies of something that any of these companies own, I mean, physical copies are going to be a big deal. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that see that. We've gotten into the point where, we don't want to take up a lot of space with a lot of junk, of course. Sometimes I look at the comics that I keep in the store as not something that I'm making money, but I'm like, it's kind of a vault sometimes also. I don't want it to go away because nobody cared about it. If I cared about it enough, it's in the store. But these people have to get rid of this stuff to make this money. I mean, it's not like you can like keep it around and keep it on, keep it low profile. You got to get rid of it. And they could get rid of all their old ass shit too, retroactively. And that's crazy. And, if something was, not PC now, get rid of it, make some money off of it. Talking about shopping their wares around, and this isn't really DC as much as this is Netflix's Sandman. There's a lot of talk today and yesterday about how Sandman's doing well for the first 2 weeks. There's a lot of people watching it, and already, usually like within a couple days of something coming out, Netflix is coming to you whether or not they want to, renew something. And they haven't done that with them unless something happened, within the last hour or so. And Neil Gaiman's coming out and saying, well, we can still shop it to another place. But I'm pretty sure there's like programs where it started on Netflix and those aren't with the other episodes when they go to another platform. Unless it's like, if Netflix was involved with the shooting of it and stuff like that. So I don't know exactly how that would work. But even then, there's still, a length of time that they are going to have it on their channel without, the other ones being connected with them. The streaming. And I mean, this is like popular. Everybody that comes in the store that's watched it is pretty okay with it. If someone didn't ever read Sandman or never liked it, they didn't care to watch it. I had one person though that said, if they aren't going to, if they're not going to commit to having, seasons of this program, I don't want to invest one season at all with, it. So there are people like that out there too. Also, I think Netflix sucks. So even if, but they are going to have Grendel, and I am looking forward to that. Okay, let's go back to chat really quick. Let me take a sip here. All right, let's see. What did Donnie do this week? Okay, so that's the other one. Okay, so I was listening to a Comics by Perch video. What? Here, let me do this. I haven't done this in a while. Here's some channels on YouTube that I recommend watching. Reggie Collects. I love that guy. He shopped at my store. Comics by Perch. All these people are great. Shang Hall has finally started up again. And if you like stuff like baseball, John Boy's stuff is good. Real good. But Perch, Comics by Perch, he came out today with a video. It's like, dude puts out way more video. Like I look, I do this live stream and then I clip the live stream, and sometimes I put pictures up to something, and that's pretty much it. He came out with a video where he was talking about some comic. I don't know if he said celebrity or, somebody who works in comics, but I don't think he said anything to like make you think, a top tier Marvel writer. Okay. But there was something about lateness, and that makes me think about the thing that's been late the most. And I'm sure most of my customers can recall what hasn't been out lately. And I sell a lot to a lot of people, and I was selling a lot of the other book to people that read his other book. I'm not sure. Anyway, it sounds like it might be Donny Cates, and it's like, oh, that's a shame. Hulk already came out, so that's been finished up, and I see solicitations for the books coming forward. So maybe all the information that's coming up is about something that's already happened and been dealt with. But, the fact of the matter is we have our demons, right? We have our demons, and we have to, I think, see, I believe in self-destruction. It's when you hurt other people. And I know everybody's going to be, oh, you're always hurting someone. There's plenty of people. Come on now. Let's be real about it. They just can't get their bearings, and they struggle with what they're struggling with for a long time, and they try and deal with it in many ways. It's unfortunate that it would happen to anybody, especially when they're working in comics. And let's be real about it. A lot of people out there, even with what we've heard about the industry and what we've seen with the industry, and know how people are treated, and about the hours, and there's a love for comics that's out there. And you would think if someone was doing it, especially if it was somebody the caliber and the lofty plateau in a company like that person, that they could get over it. But again, that's, maybe they feel like every writer probably, I feel like it, you don't deserve any accolades you get or any compensation, and nobody knows anything because you're shit. Maybe not in comic books as much, but if you take it seriously, maybe that too. Or you believe your own hype and you're John Byrne. Damn. Mentor to Klaus Janson and Scott Williams, probably the best inker Marvel ever had. Yeah, probably. I don't think we're going to say Joe Sinnott or Al Milgrom. So, Tom Palmer, although I'm actually not as big a fan of the work that he did. Sometimes I didn't feel like it he lends a realism that I don't think was proper for the Avengers, even though Neil Adams and Barry Windsor Smith were on the books and had different styles than John Buscema Sal at the time. I don't know, man. He kind of classed up the joint a little too much for that book. I think over on the X-Men though, Neil Adams is wonderful, and I think they totally are like a perfect combination. Perch did a video about someone in comics who needed an intervention, although I do not, again, believe in interventions. There's something about, I love you so much that I'm going to put out this ultimatum, and if you don't meet it, I'm going to leave. I love you so much. What? Oh, you hurt me so much and I can't be around it. How about this? Get your shit together, and when you do, come back and say hi. That's what you mean, right? That would be much better. Because you can't ever force. Sure, sometimes, but are they really doing it? It's just like anything. You got to do it for yourself. If you do it for someone else, you're a tortured character, and you're probably going to do a Dr. Doom kind of situation. Doug Mahnke learned to draw with his left hand. No, I thought that was Howard Porter. Did Doug Mahnke also do that? And are you sure? But I think Howard Porter, that happened to him. And funny enough, I hated Howard Porter. And I've read a lot of his books, obviously Morrison JLA and The Flash that he did with Jeff Johns, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it was. He is better with the opposite hand. Bravo. Let's see what she said. If it's made already, it really makes no sense. Even if there's no streaming, they would release movies with no press. Yeah, but they're just, it's all about making that money or paying off that money. And it's just like it's just like a Mitt Romney company. You're destroying it from the inside so that you can make a shit ton of money when you destroy it altogether. And maybe you salvage some of the parts, but that's about it. Oh, really? Fraga does story. No wonder he doesn't get his shit out, Jasper. Fraga does storyboards for Doom Patrol. He said season 4 will be bonkers. Would yeah, Moby T, DCEU. I'm not even, everybody knows it comes in the store. I'm not a big fan of any of the TV Marvel or the movies for the most part. I saw the big ones that I needed to see, and I feel like I'm pretty much done because I've had superhero fatigue, and we're going to get in a few minutes what I read to not have superhero fatigue. And one of those books was like Doom Patrol. I love Doom Patrol. Morrison's stuff was great. I like the weird stuff. But you might not know the book that I'm talking about going forward. So hold on a second. There you go. Jasper, I bought all the Looney Tune DVDs just in case they started removing the off-color gags. And the thing is like, it might not even be off-color right now. I know. Like, I guarantee. So I'm live long enough to remember the 1980s version of all the stuff that's going on now. And, PC culture, it was the words that were in the media and all that stuff. And Porky Pig stutters, right? Porky's stuttering, Mr. Magoo with the being blind, and Randy Newman with short people. People actually getting offended. Give me a break. Come on. Oh boy, it's so sad. Yeah, it's not near mint. We'll never see a second season of Y the Last Man. But I didn't see it, so I might be speaking out of turn, so I'm not going to get too specific. But it did sound like a premise of the comic book was not in the book or not in the program. And that was like the title of it. But whatever, because I don't expect anything that I like, whether it's a book, to be adapted, adapted to movies. Adaptations are the worst, from book to comic. City of Glass by Paul Auster, the book, done by Dave Mazzucchelli. Now that's a great translation. I would highly recommend trying to find that. Dave Mazzucchelli is a master. Paul Auster does really good mystery if you're looking at, not normal stuff. Let's see. I'm a recovering alcoholic of more than 3 years. Addiction gets you bad in times and good times too. In good times, you're celebrating. Just celebrate, right? I understand. Again, it just, for me, it's when a person is I got this from a girlfriend. I don't know. I just kind of adopted it. When a person is purposely being self-destructive, you can kind of tell, like, there's not going to be any help for this person. We knew this girl. And for those of you that know me in the past, she was fucking crazy. I remember this one time though, it was just me and her at this bar, and we don't really run in the same circles. We're just outside circles. And we were just talking, and it was just like the most kind of normal. I've had a conversation with her. Everything else was always so performance and over the top based. Play, just my 20s. Those were great times. Oh shit. Let's see what How's Your Father says. There's a recent novel that sounds like a total ripoff of Why the Last Man, i.e., all the man in the world die off. You know what? That's what we get. Well, of course it's a ripoff. Nobody else is doing it, Nobody else is doing it. All right. This is the part of the show where I'm going to talk about store stuff for a second. Don't leave, because this is the kind of stuff, if you ever thought about owning a store, this might just chill you to the bone and get you off that track. I'm going to help you right now. You could talk about drive you to drinking. Ordering from these companies. Holy cow. I wouldn't say, I mean, oh God, these are the things that happen. I wouldn't say that I made a mistake.
Job, instead of always coming to me, asking me for money, saying, I've made a huge mistake, you can bail yourself out next time.
I've never admitted to a mistake.
I often told my employees that I am never wrong, and if they find any reason why I'm wrong, they got to tell me why I am actually not incorrect in what I did. Put the onus on them, so I don't make a mistake. But of course, always, anytime anything happens to the store, I have to take 100% of the blame, especially now that I'm the only person that works there. I didn't push the button. I didn't push the confirmation for a sale for an FOC, which is final order cutoff. And tomorrow, don't worry, Fantinium, you're okay. I did not get Marvel Comics. Now, I got on the horn with the Penguin Random House. I hope everything is going to be okay. We should get everything. It shouldn't be a problem at all. But for this week, probably, we aren't going to have these Marvel Comics. In fact, we might not have them till next Friday. But it's okay, because, the way the issues are coming out, you don't have to worry about anything screwing up too much. But there was Axe Judgment Day number 3 that was coming out. Again, I know most of you people can handle it. But these are some of the things, like so UPS comes in on Friday. Oh, thanks, Jim. Thanks a lot. And it's not Wino Men. It's X-Men are going to be called the Mutants, right? I was just moving it to something else. Yeah, so I got one box, and it's like these IDW books, and I only get enough of these ones for the people that asked for them. So there's a lot of DC that came out, and of course I've got my Diamond shipment, which is like Image comic books and anything I don't already get from Lunar. So that's a thing. But yeah, no Marvel. And there's a couple titles that I get for myself in there. So I was like, holy cow. And I had to call Penguin Random House up, and we took care of it. I think everything's going to be okay. But it's just like, what the hell, What the hell? So that's what's happening tomorrow. But, there's still a lot of good stuff. And, guys like Fantinium are in mostly for DC Comics. Although there's a couple Boom books that you get that came in this week. So, again, going back to my finger on Friday, unless my partner is able to open, we probably won't be open until about 2 o'clock. Because I'm getting my stitches taken care over in Emeryville. So I don't know, 2 o'clock, driving on a Friday back into Berkeley. Anybody got any ideas what that's going to be like? Oh, not Emeryville. I always call it Emeryville, but it's not Emeryville. It's because I'm not from here. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Alameda, I guess, is where I have to go. That doesn't seem right to me. Oh, now I have to call them. Anyway, Friday, I'm going to be hell. Let's see. Dude, you're going to be in my town. Yes, I am. How's your father? Oh, yeah. Wes he had a DC going bye-bye, maybe. Yeah, I was going to talk about that. I'm not sure if I understand exactly everything, but it sounds like he has somebody that works in a financing company that might or might not deal with DC. When I interviewed Joe Casey, he made it when he was talking about business and behind the scenes. I clipped a little bit of the interview right here, what he said. It's a little nicer than the previous part.
If I take a step back, it's all entertainment. It's all the churn of, media. So, I get that. It's just, sometimes I just get irked when it's not presented as that, or it's not being owned up to as like, if somebody wants to be controversial in their opinions, great. But let's not pretend that you're not just trying to gain an audience just like everybody else is. It's all entertainment. It's all just, contributing to the quote unquote media landscape. And to come across as anything but that is disingenuous, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really know. But it's an interesting conversation, and we're seeing all sorts of crazy stuff working around DC and this company that's taking stuff out of circulation. And DC's minute sales that they make, the positive sales may not be worth it to them. Again, I could go right back into my idea, where Warner Brothers and the movie division just looks at DC Comics as advertisement only. And they can even use it so that anytime Warner Brothers or HBO or whatever has a cause, you could have the Teen Titans comic book written for that shit. But anyway, there's a Titans program, or there might be a Titans program. There's a Wonder Woman thing, or there might be, and on and on and on. That's not going to cost I imagine even buying the talent, circulating this stuff, getting the stuff circulated by Diamond or whoever, sending it out to all the schools. Put it out in Scholastic. Scholastic's kicking ass, or not Scholastic. The book, when they're buying stuff for schools, make sure you have that stuff available to be purchased through those little programs at school. Why should Scholastic get all the gravy? You make stuff for kids too, and reading, and everybody that reads comics or has read comics talks about how they cut their teeth reading and were ahead of the class because they were reading Archie's or something like that, some superhero comic book. It could just be advertisement. Superman comic comes out. The other Superman comic comes out. Would anybody be? I don't even know if anybody would be able to actually have a leg to stand on when they're bitching about any of the comics if they were just given out for free, because they could do that and spend less in that advertising for the whole year than they do when they advertise for their Justice League movie when they have it, or their Joker movie, or their Batman movie, or Suicide Squad, You know, if it costs $90 million to make, it's going to cost $90 million to advertise. That $90 million, I think, would be like a few years of DC Comics operations. And it would just be, you know, and you can have those people making stuff for whatever else. And you could probably, and the thing is that artists that work for comic book companies don't get paid like artists that work for movies and stuff like that. So, you know, hopefully they would be, you still wouldn't have ownership, but you would have such a better life. And maybe you would. I don't know about SAG and how that would work out with comic books like that. But you know, Jasper speculated that Silvestri is releasing his Batman before DC pulls back on periodicals. What is that going to be, like a 7-issue series? I hope he's got it all done, because I don't know. Let's see here. Shelby Pill, who makes Minecraft or equivalent comics? Or equivalent comic? You mean of Minecraft? There are some Dark Horse Minecraft comics. Why do you ask? It's Son of Kal-El, a great DC advertisement. I think licensed back to school supplies are better advertisements. All right, so in my idea that they are used as we're going to call it DC propaganda. Okay. Son of Kal-El and a Superman book, you know, maybe like the first part is Superman and the second part Son of Kal-El. Or, you know, maybe he takes on the role of more like a Pa Kent kind of situation Clark does. You know, maybe they age, you know, him and Lois. Wouldn't that be awesome? You know, and Son of Kal-El, you know, he's not tied down to any one thing, you know, the way he is. I'm not saying this is a stage or a phase or anything like that. I'm just saying that, you know, nothing is written in stone with this character because of all the possibilities with Legion and all that bullshit. But yeah, I think it is, because if that's going to be your character going forward, you know, it doesn't have to be a movie now. If there's a commercial for another thing that you have in that comic book that you, maybe they do this. Maybe they're like, all right, we want to really do something special. We're going to put like a small price tag on these comic books, so stores, you know, don't even have to hardly pay anything for these books, and it still gets the customers in. You know what I mean? Charge anything. I don't care. We're just giving it to you. You're just buying it for the shipping price. You know, you're going to have that stuff out there. That stuff's going to get donated to libraries. That stuff is going to get donated to schools. You don't even have to give them to the schools. And the thing is, they don't even need to make any money off of this because it's part of their advertising. They're giving this stuff away. You give Superman away, you give Batman away, or whatever goddamn character you want to promote. You just give it away because you're bigger than comic books. Your comic books never made you money. The Superman's shield that you sell as t-shirts or those peachies or whatever you want to, you know, the notebooks, those are the things. And, oh, I love Beast Boy or whatever new character, that rag thing that was in Teen Titans Academy, or, you know, whatever that stupid character is. It doesn't matter, because you are you're building the groundwork for the stuff that you're going to hit them with later. Oh my gosh, there's something I can buy that's of this thing, because that's where you make your real money. And if it's a movie that's coming out, I've seen it all my life in comic book form, and now it's finally a movie. I don't know. It's just a thought. I also think we do that other stuff way too much. You know, let's bring it back down a little bit. We all know that, you know, this X-Men shirt made more for the company probably licensing out to whatever, you know, is doing this than the movie did for whoever is able to keep the money. I don't know how those things work. I guess it's just Disney now. What are kids into these days? I don't know. Dogman still, there's a new Dogman coming out. Simpsons, if those were available more, I think that would be something they would still get. There is manga. They still like Spider-Man, but what I find out is that younger kids don't like the Spider-Man covers because they're scary. But that's okay because there's youth Spider-Man books, and they make ones with stories that anybody could read. So I have those over in my all ages section. But that I tried the Ninjago. There are kids that like that. Some still like ponies. The Scooby-Doo, that type of stuff. But Spider-Man, Miles Morales, maybe Avengers, that type of stuff. But ones that are more for them. There are some kids, see, that's when they're like really cutting their teeth on the subject, the material. But they don't always want, they just want something that they can read and kind of like when they get later on, when they want to pay attention to the continuity and the story that's going on. That's when you can really titillate them with, the McFarlane run or, the stuff that happened after that, or maybe Maximum Carnage or the very beginning and all that other stuff that doesn't matter to a lot of you out there. Just read your Sandman in a row. Oh, and that's another. Oh, yeah, Roblox. Well, that's Roblox. But I don't get the comic books and stuff for the. I think Among Us has one through Titan, but I could be wrong about that one. Video games, man. It's still video games. Let's see. I got my son the Ultimate Spider-Man Omni that came out. Periodicals are too expensive. Yes, they are. That Ultimate, awesome. I think that's still a really good book. I personally am not a Mark Bagley fan, but I think that's pretty good storytelling for the most part with Bendis and Bagley. That's their best stuff together. All right, let's see here. We're gonna run through comics that I have coming in tomorrow. Blah blah blah. First up, Detective. This is, I think, the second issue of Ram V's run. Really, really good looking covers, and the art and the inside's cool too. But I haven't read it yet. Ram V, he's okay. He's just not my favorite writer out there. And I'm not a big Batman fan. Most of you know that. So it's a chore for me, but I think it won't be for anybody that's into the detective, the Dark Knight detective. Swamp Thing ends. Oh my gosh, Ram V with Mike Perkins on art. This was originally I think it was like a 10-issue miniseries, maxi series. And it was so well received that they did 6 more issues. So this is a small success for a book that isn't Batman related. Speaking of books that are Batman related, this is a White Knight related. This is a mini series that goes along with the White Knight mini series that Sean Murphy is writing and drawing. This one has art by Simon DeMeo. You know them mostly for the covers that they work on. So this is kind of cool. The Scorched comes out. That's Spawn. Steven Segovia does the art on this. He's going to be, I think, the artist on Justice Society, which Jeff Johns is writing. I think that's right. Anyway, Spawn related right here, everybody. Human Target, Tales of the Human Target, actually. This is, yes, written by Tom King, I know, but I do sell Tom King books pretty darn well. Even better, this is still continuing this thought with, the Justice League, the International, and Kevin McGuire's doing the art. So for fans of the old Justice League International, you should definitely check this one out. Dark Horse has got the rights to do Star Wars comics again. They are doing young adventure books. So these are all ages approved. Usually Star Wars is all ages approved, but you know, there is some higher I don't even know if there really is, because I don't read either one. It's kind of got cool art if you like the cartoon style. But I know the Star Wars heads love this stuff, so I don't need to tell you too much about it, other than it's coming out tomorrow. Minor Threats. Patton Oswalt's writing this. Patton Oswalt's like hit and miss with me, but he's the most I don't know, man. I guess he's like, he tries to like fill the void of a Bob Burden in comics, but he's not drunk enough. Anyway, Scott Hepburn's going to do the art, and I think it's just, you know, it reminds me of like, you know, the Mystery Men, you know, that type of thing, just on looks alone. So I'm down. Gunslinger Spawn number 11. All right, I don't need to say any more about that. It's, Brett Booth is doing really good art in it, and these covers are pretty sweet. And here's the Marvel ones that I wanted to point out that I'm not going to have in tomorrow. And I'm going to start off with the one that hurts the most. Amazing Spider-Man number 8. I think this has like McNiven artwork. Maybe it's Pat Gleason. It's somebody like that doing the art on the inside. So this is a guest artist fill in with the new Spider Glider that he and Norman have come up with. And I hope you hear it in my voice, the pain that we don't have this coming in tomorrow. The last issue of Fantastic Four, written by Dan Slott, comes out tomorrow for some stores. But we will have it in. So hold on, everybody. There are going to be 2 more issues, I think, written by Mark Russell that are going to tie in with the whole Axe thing that's going on. And then Ryan North is going to be taking it over with a brand new number 1, I do believe. And of course, you know, he's famous for having done Squirrel Girl, the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, which was a hit in my store. You know, I sold quite a bit of it. But I gotta say, I can't imagine that the Fantastic Four is going to be allowed to be written like that. So this should be a very interesting, you know, series going forward. But this is Dan Slott's last issue. And regardless of how you feel about him, he unblocked me on Twitter, and I got to see the shenanigans he was tweeting about today. And, oh, what a shame I got unblocked. Axe, Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, Judgment Day number 3, not out tomorrow. But that's okay. If you're like me, you're behind, because I haven't even read the first issue yet. So we'll have it in soon. And last but not least, as far as store news is concerned, you should know that you can win Vengeance number 1, the variant cover. For those of you at home that are like, Vengeance number 1, I've heard of this, but I can't remember exactly where. Then you might be a Patreon member of ours, a patron on Patreon, and have heard our Joe Casey interview. Or you may have heard our Joe Casey interview on YouTube. I left this part in, where you can win this very expensive comic book, you know, a modern classic. Because for those of you at home that don't know, again, this is the first appearance of Miss America Chavez. Soak it in. And you're like, oh my God, I need to have this book. Nick Dragotta artwork. I agree, you do. And the easy way, it's real easy. All you have to do is purchase issues 5, 6, and 7, no pictures, of Image 30th Anniversary Anthology from our store. Those are going to be $6 books. They're going to have a lot of different creators. But the reason why you need to buy 5, 6, and 7 is because Joe Casey is going to be doing one of the only characters that was from Image's first year in this comic book. And it's a really interesting way that they came about doing this book. So I do highly recommend the interview. Check it out. But yeah, if you buy 5, 6, and 7, and I think I'm going to open up to people outside. We're just going to have to try and figure out a way. Maybe we'll do like a PayPal or something, and then get the books to you. But yeah, 5, 6, and 7. And you're going to be able to possibly win. We'll do it with, one of those spinning wheels like I've done in the past. And 5, 6, and 7 of the Image 30th Anniversary Anthology. And you will be entered in automatically to win Vengeance #1, which I think is pretty awesome. Joe Casey thought it was pretty cool. He was like, wow, that's a pretty cool deal. I'm done with Star Wars. I still like Dark Horse though. Dude, I've been done with Star Wars when I saw the Bosk action figure. That cover is awful. Well, it's rarer, I'll have you know. America Chavez, created by Joe Casey, perfected by National Treasure Gabby Rivera. Oh yes. She signed at our store, Eric. But I don't know. I knew I didn't need to be there. My brother told me what it was like, and he's more inclined to be okay with it. And it's just, it was he didn't like being there. Let's just say that. I had Joe Rogan sign my Batman Volume 1, Issue 13. Everyone said the value had gone up now. Wait, I don't understand that at all. Was he in that or something? The FF cover was awful. Yeah, that was pretty shitty, isn't it? They had that good X-Men artist on Fantastic Four, RB Silva, for a minute, and that was like good. And then they had like a clone of RB Silva, and it was passable. And that was the last time they gave a shit. And then they were supposed to have Pacheco more, but I guess he got hurt. He had like spinal fusion something. So he came out and he said on Twitter that he was really bummed that he couldn't, finish it because he was really into it. And he likes the FF. He previously had a short run on the FF, and it wasn't as good as I had hoped it would be. But yeah, this still isn't the greatest cover, but nonetheless, like I said, rarer. All right, I got some music to play for you guys. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. It is almost the end of the show. Please remember that we have a Patreon.
My last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh? Paisanos! $6.50 your change. Yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio!
Sì!
Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patrone!
Don't let that happen to you. Be a member on our Patreon. We also have a Substack, which is free, and it also works as a newsletter. So you're going to find out about stuff that's going on. Hopefully you found out about the DC books that I would recommend. There is a variant cover of Harley Quinn that looks just like The Killing Joke. And I don't usually talk about speculation, but I bet if you bought that and put it down for, 5 or 6 years, and then once people start caring again, that'll be, it'll be like a $50 or $60 book, I bet. Because all the other people would have just gotten rid of them. It's almost the end of the show. We're gonna go to Mother's Basement in just a moment. But first, I want to let all you know about our patrons that are members. Thank you very much to everybody. I really appreciate it. It helps us maintain the store. Students are back, and this is the first time we've been open fully and working the way, up and running the way we are since then. So it's always a scramble, and it really sucks that I didn't get Marvel in this week. It's such a bummer. Oh my god, like the perfect week to screw up. Just the perfect week. But that's how it goes. Before we get to Mother's Basement, I want to introduce you to my friend Rick Worley. He has a video, and you should go check out his station. I do have it in the comments, in the link, down in the comments, the links for it, this video. But check this out.
What vice do you most despise?
Bigotry. Everyone wants to just hear, well, there are good guys and baddies, and it's about wanting to fight the baddies. Well, the trouble is that the people you call baddies think they're doing exactly the same thing. It is much more nuanced than that. And I know that's very cryptic, but you really have to let this story unfold before you draw real conclusions.
Of course, this video is going to get into the recent controversies over Rowling's statements on trans issues, but I think in order to contextualize what I'm going to say about all of that, first I need to go into the many, many other controversies that have surrounded her before that, to show that it's not a new thing or something that came out of nowhere, but it's actually part of a long trend.
Oh yeah, I watched some more of that. I haven't finished it yet, but God, it's Rick Worley does really great documentaries about things that can be touchy, and I like that. I think he does. He has an honest take, and he's got a good take, and it's not, just so that he can like cause drama or anything like that. It's everything's very well thought out and laid out, and I really appreciate his style. So you should check out that. And I'm going to share my screen this is a website that we have. Boom. Half Price Comics. No, it's not that. Half Price Comics. .ofberkeley.com, and you can see all these books that we're selling for half priced. The great thing about it is if you buy it online and come pick it up, you don't have to worry about shipping. But if you buy a book and it doesn't reach the $75 plateau and you want it shipped, it will cost $75. So stock up, and then it's free shipping. $75 gets you free shipping. And let's get on with the show. All right. Let's do this.
Here! I'm down here! Down here!
Mr. Sheldon?
All right. We're going down to Mother's Basement. I should have some like... It's a basement. It's the best I got. Comic book basement would be better, but I don't have that picture. On comments. J.K. Rowling is my favorite MILF. Very good. I need a banner for that website. I do. I do indeed. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to share screen one more time. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to a comic book that is superhero for people that are sick of superheroes. This book came out in the 90s. Move that. This is called The Jam, Urban Adventures. I think it originally was a slave labor book, but it had bounced to different companies, including Dark Horse and I think Tundra. And even Kamiko. And this is written and drawn by a guy named Bernie Muro. For those of you that don't know him, he's Canadian. This cover is done by Matt Wagner. Matt Wagner, who has Grendel coming up through Netflix. He also is a Canadian, a Knucklehead. Black and white. I know, superheroes that are in black and white. But the thing is when I say in the Joe Casey interview, I like something different. I like something weird. I like something that's not normal. I'm not looking for another fucking horror comic book out there. I'm not looking for another female lead character that has something to do with something that they've never done before. It's always these fill in the blank things that people do. A noir type comic or a crime type comic, or I'm a magician who's really an occultist. I'm a space person that also is the son of a demon, and I rule this planet. I'm sick of it. There's nothing really new. And stop. I don't know, man. Comics just aren't fun. They just aren't different. There's a few that are out there. Usually it's a guy like Stocco or maybe Steve Scroach. He's cool. He does like different things, but it's not all the time. Shaolin Cowboy is coming out right now. Dark Horse used to be such a wonderful company for people that were sick of the mainstream. It did Concrete, which was never something I dug. But, Boris the Bear, Black and White, Color, Sin City, Usagi Yojimbo, Gru the Wanderer for a long time. Alien, Predator, those were like, they didn't do like a ton of properties back in the day. Dark Horse Presents, that's where I read Fat Dog Mendoza. They were an awesome company. And then Image overtook them, but Image is not like Dark Horse. They didn't have the sensibilities. They were, superhero knockoff company by creators that did stuff for Marvel or DC. And I don't know, man. Nobody wanted to tell their story. And it wasn't like, I wanted to tell my story over the course of like 36 issues, like a James Tynion book, Anyway, these guys, these Flarks is what they're called. They're chasing down this car. And we don't know anybody. This is the very first issue, but the people in the car are like talking about, these guys. What is a Flark? They're religious fanatics who have sworn to kill me. Who's the guy on the end? I don't know. The person. I had to take pictures from a comic book because these aren't available for downloading. So you have to actually get the issues. They shouldn't be too expensive, and I think it's worth it, but you're going to see every page here. I love this. The Jam. He makes a sandwich and he goes out and fights crime on rooftops. I'm using air quotes. And he's eating a sandwich when he hears help. And scream all you want, pig. Nobody's coming. But no, that's wrong. The Jammer's coming. And we see this guy hanging this guy. He's going to drop him. He's his brother-in-law, but he did something to alert thieves to steal his brother-in-law and his sister's shit. And so this guy's going to drop him, kill him. And the Jammer comes up. He's like, what? Don't do that. And I think I skipped a page. All right, so maybe not every page. The Jammer goes over to see what's going on, and the guy actually tries to shoot him. So he drops a battery on him. I love it. I just love this art. It's so cool. Love black and white. There's real inking going on. It's not straight to color. Got that Zipatone in the back. Black and white comics is where it's at. Not that oversaturated covers and colors that, you know, warp your comic books on each page. And the paper's so thin. I don't love newsprint when it gets all disgusting and smells to me like mayonnaise. I mean, I like mayonnaise, but it's like Miracle Whip. It's worse. Jammer's eating with this dude. They're talking. He's like, you know, why don't we go get some drinks? And then here we see the bad guys. They're getting their stuff together. It's just really cool. These guys are talking about needing to kill these people. And then they're talking about pizza and what kind of pizza they need to get. And then they're talking about all this junk that's going on. And here's our guy going to a pizza place to sit down with this guy. They leave the guy hanging. And they order pizza and beer. And they get drunk. And I gotta let you know, if I ever did my comic book, there would definitely be like a little bit of lifting going on from this. Not totally. I mean, I got my own thing, but there's elements to it. Actually, Moby, who is in chat, or might still be in chat, he did a trial comic book, I guess you could say, of this superhero that like works in Berkeley. And it felt like it would go along well with the idea that I had before for that, which I'm never going to do because I don't care. But, you know, I got my Jammer type character, definitely. He meets up with that lady from before, the one that was in the car that were knocking over those flarks on the bikes. And she's getting harassed. And this is how the Jammer... This is how he fights people. He comes out, he's like, what are you doing to my mother? And they run away. She gives him his card. He's like, I don't think I'm going to really, you know, take this job. And then he comes home and she's like, come on, you know, do it. And she offers him money and he's like, oh, maybe I will take this job. And yeah, this is it. I totally screwed the pages up in order. So there you go. He gets home drunk that night. And I don't remember how this 20. God damn it. I screwed everything up. See, this is just like ordering. Anyway, suffice it to say, the devil gets involved. And there's a really good story time going on in this one. Let me see. 23, 24. That makes sense. Okay, maybe I didn't screw anything up. He gets home. He lays down. He has a dog. Look at how woke he is. He has a well, I can't say American. I don't know where she's from. He has a black girlfriend. Oh my gosh. Oh, and this is the guy with his sister. So he got down. The other guy gets to his apartment and it's totally barren. And then, like I said, the devil's going to get involved with the Jammer and he's going to try and break his heart. So there's your Mother's Basement, the Jam. I like that one, even though I screwed all that up. I recommend checking it out. Mother's Basement should be about non-downloadable content. Makes sense. That's true. You know, I mean, I like to take the pictures from the comics, but they don't always, you know, work so well. Like I was thinking that I screwed it up there. So thank you to all my patrons. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. There was a little bit of a car wreck at the end, but I made my 130 minutes. 130, 1 hour, 30 minutes. And, you know, I think I should, you know, make it up to you all and leave you with a little bit of a tune. You all know that this is what I do to close out most shows. Definitely the ones where I'm going solo. So check this out. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. Running through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish food complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona were trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn. She left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made the famous Sunset Sam.